Well, you guys enjoyed the last video, so I'm back at it again, making another one. In today's video, I have 5 more examples of raw cards versus PSA 9s. And I don't think, again, I keep saying this, don't think a lot of people are noticing right now, but PSA 9s and raw card pricing are virtually the same thing. So if you're someone who buys, if you're someone who collects, and yes, if you're someone who even invests into Pokemon cards or just in trading cards in general, this is going to be the perfect video for you. You're someone who does not want to wait all that time to get your cards back from PSA, and if you are perfectly okay with growing your collection via PSA 9s, which I think is perfectly valid, I think it's great. Some people just want the 10s and nothing else, that's fine. But if you're someone who really wants to grow your collection, you're good with 9s and 10s, then you may want to just perk up your ears a little bit and listen to what I have to say. Because right now, raw cards and PSA 9s are virtually the same thing. And that kind of goes the same too for some Beckett's and as well tag. And as we keep evolving these videos and I keep bringing you guys more examples, I will do that. I will start also comparing other grading companies like the Beckett's, the CGCs, and the tags as well. Because I know a lot of you guys are pretty high on tag. So do me the big favor right now, please hit the like button. If you're new, consider hitting that subscribe button. Don't forget to also hit that notification bell so you guys never miss when I drop a video. Comment down below if you're also noticing and what is your favorite card from this list that I'm about to drop for you guys in this video. My name is Philip. Welcome to TCG Madness. And yes, we have 5 great examples. I don't just pick random examples. You know, I pick 5 great examples of cards that if you have the money right now, I would not send these cards out to PSA unless you absolutely know, like if you're really comfortable and almost sure of yourself that this card that you're holding may get you a PSA 10. And you're going to send it out and you're going to get that time, you know, and then you're going to spend all that money and you're going to get that card back and it's going to come back as a PS 10. If you're pretty confident about that, then this video may not be for you. But if you're someone who's, you know, maybe it's your first time getting into PSA, maybe you're just growing your collection, man. Maybe you're just someone who's like, listen, I'll send cards to the PSA and I'll also buy some PSA 9s because right now, what's flying under the radar is that the PSA 9s and the raw cards are virtually the same thing. So if you're someone who really wants to just grow your collection without shelling out all the money, right? Buying the cards, ripping packs, and then sending it all out and furloading all that money, you know, up front, spending hundreds, if not even thousands of dollars. You maybe just want to skip that process to save yourself about 20 bucks per card getting graded because that's how much it costs. Whether it's the GameStop or PSA directly or any of these other companies, this video is going to be for you. So let's go to TCG Player. Let's go ahead and show the 5 examples that I got for you in this video. All right, we're now here at TCG Player where we're going to get right into this video. Now, again, I'm going to show you the raw cards. Then I'm going to show you guys on eBay and what is being sold. This way, too, again, I always pick like good cards that I think have a very good upside. I don't just pick random cards. I also try to find some cards that might be flying under the radar. Maybe you even just forget. Because, again, Pokemon now has a very rich history at this point, right? I think we all would agree on that. So sometimes there's some cards that you're like, really, that card's selling for the exact same price, raw versus PSA 9? Well, instead of just going buying the card because maybe it's an older card and you're worried about getting damaged, or maybe you're just like, hey man, I don't want to spend $100 then get it graded, then have to wait 2.5 months, maybe even 3 months, depending on what's going on over there at PSA. Maybe I get a bad grader or stuff like that, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna take all that away from PSA and my conscience, and I'm just gonna go directly to the source and just buy the card. Now I know some people just like, listen, for me it's 10 or nothing. If that's you, that's okay, but not everybody's like that. And I know here on YouTube, that's not a vast majority of people, but I noticed that when I post these clips on TikTok, I seem to get a lot of people just saying that, like, I think 9s are trash, it's 10 or nothing for me. Okay, if that's you, that's fine. Me personally, I'm totally comfortable. It's either 9s and 10s when it comes to PSA. I think at 8 and below, depending on how old the card is, I think it's virtually worthless. If it's a really 20-year-old card, at 8's still pretty damn good, by the way, for being the history of a card and how old it is, but not everybody's like that. So I have 5 great examples for you. Comment down below which one was your favorite. Kicking things off, we have Wailord from Journey Together. This card, not that expensive, under $20, has been pretty much under $20 since its basically inception, you know, at the point of when the set was first released. So if you go back a year, you see, by the way, this is still from an older, not an older set, a newer set, excuse me. Journey Together. This is just a couple of sets ago, right? So just a couple of months ago, back in what, February? Yeah, this card was selling when 56 when the set was first announced. And as you guys can see, we've had a gradual just decline all the way down to pretty much $20 below 30, which was at that 27.46. You can see how many were sold. 314 at 22.27. 307 were sold. So you can just see, and again, what do you think they're doing with all these cards? They're sending them out to get graded. In the last couple of months, this card now is sitting pretty anywhere between that $20 to $16 range. So right now you can see what's being sold on TCG Player. Let's just go look at what's being sold on eBay as a PSA 9, and you will see again, this card right here is virtually the same price. So you have to ask yourself, so you can see $20, $14, $22, $13.50, $22, $10.50 as a bid, $20.50 as a bid, $22 or best offer, $21, $24, $18.50, $12.50, 18 bucks, $19, $18.50, $13.50, right? So that's a pretty good amount of cards being sold anywhere between that $10 to $20 range. So again, ask yourself, $16 to buy the card, then another $20 to get it graded, so you're in the hole for $36, $40, or do you just directly just go to the source and just buy a couple of PSA 9s and just sit on them for years? Personally, that's what I would do. If I had an extra $40, $60, I'd buy 2 copies of Wailords at PSA 9s and just sit on them. Why not? You know, why not? Buy a couple of 9s, maybe, you know, you find a good deal on 10, you buy that 10, and you let that thing just sit in your collection. This is a newer set, Journey Together. So Journey Together is probably gonna have to wait about 10 to plus years, maybe 10 to 15 years, before we see that really ROI, that return on our investment, where we really will see one day this card take off. And I do think this card has the potential to do that. I don't think this card sits at $20 forever. I do think at some point this card will hit $30, $40 range. But I'm talking, again, when I say that, I am talking that 10 plus years. So if you're someone who's building out that collection, if you're someone who's young right now, at 18, 19 years old, start your collection here, man. I'm telling you, buy the PSA 9s because they're virtually the same price as the raw cards. That won't last forever, by the way. This is a new thing. Typically, when you get a card graded, it adds that intrinsic value to it. That has not happened with all of these modern Pokemon sets that have come out, especially with a lot of this hysteria around Pokemon. So next up, here's my favorite pick of out of the 5 examples. I have right here Glaceon V alternative art from arguably the greatest set that has come out in the last 10 years. I think it's fair to say. I really do believe that. Evolving Skies. Evolving Skies has aged like beautiful fine wine, specifically sealed, but even the cards inside of it. So this card is definitely going to carry a heavier price tag, no doubt about it. So you can see right now this card holds about a $98 plus price tag, 97 plus $1.29. But you can see over the course of this last year, it has gone from 71, its highest was 148, and it has come down a little bit to 108 now, going to be even lower than that. So the 1 year trend, right? Lowest from a year ago was 71, peak was 148. This is pretty much around the mass hysteria at Pokemon that we had around this February. And now we're slowly starting to see that dip back down. So that's a pretty good margin, right? 97, 148, and back down to about 90 bucks. I'll be very interested to see if this thing ever goes below the $80 range. I don't think it will. With that being said, what's being sold right now on TCG Player, juxtapose that to what has been sold on eBay. Look at this. 86, 100, 135, 109, 105, 100, 104, 93, 88, 86, 68. Whoever got that deal, man, chef's kiss to you, my brother. That's a heck of a deal for this card. 102, 99, 108, 87. So again, ask yourself, this is from a set that's very popular and aging very, very well. What do you think this card is going to generally look like in the next 5-10 years? Ask yourself that. Because I think in the next 5 to 10 years, this Glaceon hits that 150 again, no doubt about it, but probably hits that $200 plus range. So right now, if you're someone who's been sitting around being like, man, I have an extra 100 bill lying around, you know, this month's bills are all paid off, I got an extra couple $100, put $300 in the savings, and I got a sole 100 left over. I'm just saying, this could be you. Maybe you go out and you buy yourself a PSA 9 Glaceon, you put that in your collection, and you say to yourself, that card in the next 5 plus years, that's a shorter window than the 10 plus that I'm given. 5 plus years, this card's gonna age beautifully. Beautifully. Of course, Evolution shirt I'm rocking today, right? Evolutions. Eevees in general and the Evolution chain, always very popular among fans. Great card, highly recommend it. This is my 1A card right here. Of all the cards I'm going to give you, I know this is the most expensive one I'm probably going to give you guys. This one is the one that I would easily buy into. After this video, by the way, I am going to put down some bids and see if I can get lucky at that $86 to $90 range. I think that's a beautiful price. I mean, you saw that one guy who got a $68 Glaceon Who knows? Maybe that could be you. Maybe today's your lucky night. Maybe there's one that's going to end in a couple hours and you get lucky and no one's paying attention. I know eBay has changed their auction rules, so there's no more sniping, but I mean, this is pretty recent right here. This is August 5th, and this is after the sniping rules, and this guy was still able to get it for, 86 plus, $6 shipping and handling from PSA directly. So you know it's going to be handled with care. Pretty good card, guys. I highly recommend this one. Next up, we have another very favorite. Again, this is another card that I think has very good upside. This is pretty much what I look for. I look for cards that have good upside and then also have in between. I basically look for anything that's $10 or less between the raw and the PSA price. I know you're going to pay that extra $5, $10. I think once you cross that $15+ range, I think at that point it is worth it to just send it to PSA via yourself. That's just my opinion. But I have to really, because I think a good deal is that $5 to $10 window. And sometimes you get really lucky and they're like virtually the same price. So we have here Entei V, Crown Zenith Galarian Gallery. Another great card, another card that I think has very high potential. You look at the year, okay, I don't know why maybe let's do 6 months. 6 months ago was 27.71 and still now 27.29. This card virtually has not moved from the 27 price range, which is good. That's a good sign. That means we know where this card roughly should be. Take a look at what is being sold by PSA 9 for this card. This card, I think, also has a very good upside. I did see this too. And if I didn't click with the sold listings, I'm seeing a lot of this at like the $40+ range. So maybe keep your eye very close to this card if you're someone who wants this card. Or maybe now might be the time to actually just, take my rule, throw it out the window, and actually buy them raw and send them to PSA. But I still like what I'm seeing here. So we got 38, 34, 39. I wouldn't pay attention to this. I don't know what that was. But 27, 39, 38, 42, 37, 34, 39, 32. 27, 29. So I'm still seeing enough here to where we're still between that $10 window, but we are increasingly getting out of that window. So you're seeing it's almost at that $15 range that I just talked about. So this might be a card that, maybe now is the time to, pull that trigger, buy as a PSA 9 directly, or now might be the time to maybe start stacking up on these cards as raw and sending them in. Something to think about. So pretty good upside. I like this card a lot too. This would probably be, I would say, this probably be number 3 on the list. I have one more that I think is a little bit better than this one, but Glaceon is still my favorite of this list. Next up, we have a beautiful card, a card that I think will age very well. This is the Ninetales from Obsidian Flames. This card too, take a look at the year stats. So lowest was 11, highest 34, and now plateaued around that $16, $15 range, which is pretty good. PSA 9s, I mean, we're virtually looking at the same thing here, so don't pay attention to United Kingdom. Don't know what they're doing. But 28, 25, 24, 20, 20, 26, 26, 28, 30, 24, 29, 1950. And again, this is a virtually, what we said, 1669. So for just a couple of $5 or $8 more, you can just get yourself a PSA 9 right now, and that price, pretty good for this card. For also a set that is starting to age, and it's starting to age really well. A lot of people did not like Obsidian Flames, only they liked it because of the Charizards. Everything else was pretty much looked at as like a trash card, basically. All of a sudden that has changed. So this set, I think, is starting to be looked at as like, hey, you know what, that set wasn't as bad as we thought it was. And that happens sometimes. People's perspectives and people's opinions change over time. So another good card. I like this one as well too. And it's a good budget buy too, right? For almost $30 or $25, you can get yourself a Ninetales and a PSA 9. I take that deal. It's a pretty good deal. So really good there. The second card, my second favorite on the list, and the last card of this list that we're going to take a look at as far as examples go, is Eevee from Twilight Masquerade. Now, I think Glaceon is my 1A. This is my 1B. This is my 2B right here. This is it. It's Eevee from Twilight Masquerade. I'm going to tell you exactly why. A year ago, this card was sitting pretty at 56. When all this hysteria was going on with Pokemon, this card was selling over $100. Now, some people might say this was pumped and dumped. That could have happened. That could be it. I think this was a natural growth, by the way. I think a lot of the hysteria caused this card to hit that. And you could just see it took a while before we got this card all the way back down to where we're at now, which is $49.62. So again, a year ago, this card was even worth more than that. Now we're at a very good, reasonable price for this card. I do think in the next 5-10 years, I do think 5 years, honestly. I really do. I think this card's going to go right around this price again. I really do. So, how does PSA 9 look on eBay? Well, pretty similar to what the card's being sold as raw. So again, raw, 47 plus $1.99 shipping, so we'll say 48. And if you just come right over here, here we go, 61, 59, 57, and this card's kind of all over the place too. 49, 57, 54, 55, 59, 55, 52, 44, 56. So this card also too is kind of like the Entei. We're kind of getting out of that range of that, you know, it's just, you know, right around that $15+ more from a PSA 9, but not quite enough consistently. This card's still being sold right around $10 more than its raw counter price, which is the 47. But there are certain examples, most very recently was 61 plus $4, 480 shipping and handling. So that puts it at 65.80 versus 47 raw. So this card's starting to get there. I also too, just like Entei, I would keep my eye very close to this one. This might be the time to start buying up some of these. Maybe there's something that happens on the upward trend for this card. Like this card a lot too. Also one of my favorite Eevees because you just got a family of Eevees out there. Beautiful looking card. I highly recommend if you're someone who doesn't want to spend the raw, then spend another 20 bucks and then wait that turnaround time. You're like, man, I don't have the time or the patience for that, and I just want to go directly to the source. I do think this is the second best card on the list. My first, definitely the Glaceon, and that is going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video again too. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button for me. And again, comment down below what out of this list that I give you is your favorite. And also too, what kind of examples have you guys seen as well? Like, have you guys been able to go to card shows and card shops and pretty much pick out PSA 9s and get them for the almost close to the raw pricing? Very curious to hear maybe some of your stories, but let me know what your favorite card of the list is. Please go check me out on TikTok. There'll be a link down below in the description box. That's going to do it for me. And as always, you guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'll see you guys next time.